Debonair. Okay.
What's good, y'all? Shout out to Notification Gang for hitting the like button. And the video didn't even start yet. Y'all realest ones in it. I appreciate you anyway. Shout out to this commentator here, man. I stumbled upon this video a while back. I was able to watch the I want to say maybe 60% of this video. But he was bringing out a lot of great facts and details and all this, that, and the third. And I thought to myself, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. You know what I mean? But let's get into this, man. Why are more men single than women are? Why is it that men are less likely to be sexually active within the last 3 to 5 years compared to women? And we gonna get into it, man. We definitely gonna get into it. So let's go. This video, I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be a little long because I think this video is about 11 minutes. So we'll try to react to the whole thing. If not, it is what it is. Let's go. Let's do this.
Last week, I delved here into recent data from the CDC suggesting major problems with regard to the mental health of our adolescents, surges in depression and suicidal ideation, especially true for our girls. This week, I found cause to worry about young men. This headline from The Hill, it caught my eye. Most young men are single. Most young women are not. The story reported that as of 2022, Pew Research Center found 30% of U.S. adults are neither married, living with a partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship.
That's a lot. So shout out to Pew Research Center, man. If y'all don't know about them, I mean, they're a pretty credible source, along with Huffington Post and New York Times, blah blah blah, U.S. Census, etc. etc. They're really credible people, and they do a lot of research. And I remember doing, back when I was in school, doing a lot of my work citation, like they call it, the works cited page, like where you do your insight citations, in work citation, whatever you call it, whatever. And a lot of it was from, Pew Research Center, or from the U.S. Census, or from whatever I was pulling it from. So let's do this again. As of 2022, Pew Research Center found that 30% of U.S. adults are neither married, neither living with a partner, nor engaged or in a committed relationship. That's a lot. 30%. That's a lot. Well, let's keep going.
Nearly half of all young adults are single. Now, look at these numbers. 34% of women, twice as many, a whopping 63% of men. What explains that? I pulled the Pew study and I read with interest. Turns out since 2019, the share of single men who say they're looking for dates or a relationship has declined from 61% to 50%. In 2018, 28% of men ages 18 to 30 reported they'd had no sex in the past year, compared with 18% of women of that age.
And why is that? Hold on, let me go back. They about to pick it up with the facts, data, and statistics, right? So listen, I said this before, right? I got a pen because I was taking notes. People are like, what the hell is this man doing with a pen? I've said this before, right? Where I said, yo, I have one more relationship left in me and I'm done. I've said this years ago, back with me, and I was telling you about the Trinidadian chick that I was talking to, right? I was done with her and I was done with relationships. And then, everything happened the way it happened. I had to, I fell into, what I'm, the relationship that I'm in now. It is what it is, and I'm happy about it. And so what I am saying now is, if that does not work out, that's it. And I will not try again. So I understand why it says percent of the U.S. single males seeking a relationship, why it declined from 61 to 50. I understand. And as the years go on, it's going to decline even more, because a lot of men, in my opinion, a lot of guys that's on their, let me say this, a lot of the men that's on their job is starting to see that the value of relationships, it doesn't mean anything anymore. A lot of the things that I can do in a relationship, I can do it by my damn self. I could find it with someone that I could pay to cook and clean in my house. I can find someone that's I mean, I don't believe in paying for sex, but hey, to each his own. I don't judge. But I could find a chick to have sex with for damn free, or for little to nothing. I can find all those things. And those are some of the major, in my opinion, those are some of the major parts in a relationship, right? Someone that has your back, someone that can relieve you sexually, physically, you know, massage you, that can be there for you, an ear that you can talk to, or whatever the case may be. You can find all those outside of relationships. It's not like how it was in like the 1920s where you had to be married to have sex. Nah, bro. Like these chicks is out here posting any and everything, every part of their goddamn body all over, you know, not leaving nothing to the imagination, all over social media. And that's the reason why these numbers are declining. But let's keep going. Shout out to Pew Research, man. They're killing it.
They're looking for dates or a relationship has declined from 61% to 50%. In 2018, 28% of men ages 18 to 30 reported they'd had no sex in the past year, compared with 18% of women of that age.
I forgot to talk about that. I'm glad I rewinded it. I forgot to talk about that. Fellas, what have I been saying for the longest? Women control access to what? What do women control access to? But U.S. adults ages 18 to 30 who have not had sex in the past year, 18% of women. And you know a lot of this is cap, because I told y'all, you know that a lot of this stuff is cap. A lot of this stuff is cap. It's probably even, we're not even gonna go through that. What do I say, fellas, about this situation? Women control access to what? What do I always say, fellas? I say the women that you're interested in, the women that you've been asking out on a date, you know, treating respectfully, doing all this, that, and the third, and you over here patiently waiting to get in them cheeks. I told y'all before, somebody's cracking that. Somebody's getting in at it, and I'm telling y'all. I am telling y'all. Y'all don't understand how many times I've heard, and I've said this before, majority of my friends are females. Y'all don't understand how many times I had to hear from my female friends and relative to, but from my female friends where they said, oh, you know, I got a guy that's doing this. I got a guy that pays my rent. I got a guy that pays my car note. I got a guy that pays my insurance. I got a guy that pays for my phone. I got a guy that pays for my grocery. I got a guy to buy me food. I got a guy that takes me out to dinner. I got a guy that take me out to vacation. You got a guy to do all these things, and I'm just a guy pulling up, dropping off strokes, and going home. So I guess you got a guy that's been getting your ass too. But I've asked this question so many times, fellas. What side of the fence do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side of the fence where she calls because she's bored and got nothing to do, and you're supposed to just jump and entertain her, hop, skip, and jump? Playing patty cake with her ass and all the other stupid ass nonsense? Or do you want to be that guy that she calls when she 3 o'clock in the morning? She been playing with herself in her sleep. Oh my God, let me call her. Damn. No, Dev will come in here and get me right. Hey Dev, what's going on? You know, I just been here like just thinking about you like crazy. Like, are you available? Can you come through right now? I need that. I need that right now. I need that good right now. What side of the fence do you want to be on? What side of the fence do you want to be on? Because these numbers don't lie. Fellas, these numbers do not lie, and I told y'all all the time, especially if she's attractive. I mean, hell, if she's not attractive too, they still getting stroked and bent over. Facts. But if she's attractive, pretty face, nice body, fat ass, it's a wrap. My bad, I didn't mean a monologue, but it's a wrap.
The Hill report said men in their 20s are more likely than women in their 20s to be romantically uninvolved, sexually dormant, friendless, and lonely. They stand at the vanguard of an epidemic of declining marriage, sexuality, and relationships that afflicts all of young America. Among the causes, among the factors, a reliance on social media and online porn. But also, more young women are hooking up with each other or dating and marrying slightly older men.
Yes.
And heterosexual women are getting more choosy. Yes. Other troubling statistics about men come from a 2021 study from the Survey Center for American Life. They found the share of men who have 6 or more close friends, which in 1990 was 55%, by 2021 had shrunk by half. Meanwhile, those with literally 0 close friends, which stood at 3% in 1990, has zoomed to 15%. An expert quoted by The Hill said this disconnect can have catastrophic consequences for young men. Quote, in the worst case scenario, the young American man's social disconnect can have tragic consequences. Young men commit suicide at 4 times the rate of young women. Younger women are largely responsible for rising rates of mass shootings, a trend that some researchers link to their growing social isolation. Well, those words reminded me of a conversation that I had over a year ago right here on CNN with NYU professor Scott Galloway.
But the issue is when you have a group of men.
So before he even gets going, y'all don't understand how often I have guys that contact me, right? And they tell me straight up, hey, listen, I don't know how to talk to this chick. I don't know how to shoot my shot at this chick or introduce myself or have a small talking conversation with this woman. I don't know how to do that. Can you explain to me how to do it? Because Dev, this is girl, you know, at work. This is girl at school. This is girl my neighbor. This is girl I see all the damn time. I just need her to understand that I want to be with her, but I just don't know how to. Stuff like that happens all the time, and it's a damn shame. And I feel sorry for them. I do. Because a lot of those guys are good guys. I say this all the time. A lot of those guys are really, really good guys, but 9 times out of 10, the woman that they're interested in will never give them the chance for most of the reasons, right? But one of the main reasons is because of that guy won't even initiate and shoot a shot with her. And it's a damn shame, honestly, to say the least. To say the least, it is a damn shame. A lot of these people, and I say this all the time, but fellas, a lot of y'all really have to break out of that shell. You have to get socially, you know, active. You have to start. I tell fellas all the time. This is one guy that I've been talking to for the last couple of weeks now. And I'm trying to teach him how to break him out his shell because he doesn't know how to approach women. I mean, granted, he's young. He's like, I think he's 19, if I'm not mistaken, 19 or 20. So, you know, he's fairly young, whatever case may be. But a lot of these guys, they don't know or too scared. And then you have women who's way more experienced than men because they grow up talking to older guys who knows what they're doing, who's established, who has this, that, and the third. So by the time they walk up to them, they have this energy that's around them, and the guys, a lot of them get scared, intimidated. They don't know what to do. They shut down. Some of them won't even approach anyway. They'll just go look the other way and do whatever the case may be. There's not a lot of guys like me that'll look at a chick and be like, I'm so sorry, but you are very attractive. Can I get your number? Let me take you out this weekend. What you doing? What's up? Where you going at right now? How about me and you go? We go grab, you know, something to eat. We can grab a smoothie. We just talk about life. We talk about me and you. What's up? A lot of guys cannot do that, unfortunately, and it's sad.
The lower half of attractiveness of men in online dating, which has doubled. Now it's about half of relationships. And the top 20% of men in terms of attractiveness get about 60% of the interest. You end up with a group of men that are more prone to conspiracy theory, more prone to misogynistic content, more prone to not believe in climate change. So this is the American story. If it's written with a pen whose ink is failing young men, does not end well. This is an existential crisis, failing young men.
As always, Professor Galloway was prescient. Back with me now is Scott Galloway. He's a professor of marketing at NYU Stern School of Business. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's the host of the Professor G podcast and author of multiple best-selling books, most recently, Adrift, America in 100 Charts. Scott, thanks for returning. Hasn't the advantage always been to those with the looks and or the money? What's changed?
First off, Michael, I just want to say thank you for raising this issue a year ago when a lot of media companies were afraid to talk about this for fear of it being pro-men was somehow being anti-women. Look, this is returning to the natural order of things. For the majority of history, a small percentage of men have had the majority of the mating opportunities. But in America, we decided to make a huge investment in what would probably be the greatest innovation in history, and that is in the middle class. From 1945 to 1947, 7 million men returned from war were discharged from the service, and we decided to give them the GI Bill, subsidized mortgages. We saw education rates go from 5 to 45%. They were valued, and we had such a strong manufacturing base that you had massive marriage and household formation, and some men were seen as more economically and emotionally viable. And you've seen the reverse happen with the offshoring of much of our manufacturing base, with a society that quite frankly doesn't value young men. When we talk about problems with people of color or women, we see it as a systemic societal problem. When we see problems or the stats that you just mentioned, we see it as accountability, or that men just need to level up. But married households and household formation are better citizens. They vote, they save at twice the rate, they're less likely to commit crimes, and we have fewer and fewer viable men. We have a dearth of economically and emotionally viable men. But the middle class is an accident. Unless you invest in it, it doesn't happen. Eisenhower decided to invest $500 billion in a national highway project that created tons of jobs. We have, and by the way, the tax rate back then was 91%. We raised money and we redistributed in social programs that made young people more economically viable.
And then, Scott, you toss in the influence of social media and how relationships today, they don't come from, in our era, happenstance and mingling, right? They come from swiping, and that further accelerates this issue. Am I right?
Oh, it's been the chaser to it. I mean, to have an honest conversation about this, we have to be honest, and that is that men and women have different mating criteria. One quarter of men saying economic viability is a key criteria in a mate. 3/4 of women say that is important. And when you're on a two-dimensional format, where now it's 1 and 2 relationships begin online, it used to be 1 and 4 just a few years ago, it gets distilled down to a small number of criteria. Specifically for men, it's does she look attractive, and specifically for men, is he able to signal his ability to garner resources in the future? An average attractive male on Tinder gets swiped less than 1% of the time, and there's 3 men on Tinder for every 1 woman. So you've distilled it, you've taken out one of the key components of mating dynamics, and that is vibe, humor, body language, pheromones, the ability to be, quite frankly, a little bit persistent in the pursuit of a romantic relationship. We have no third places anymore, no places to meet. People aren't going to bars, they aren't sports league, they aren't going to church, they aren't even going to work. So it gets distilled down to very 1 or 2 dimensional attributes. And the reality is women are much choosier than men, and they can apply those screens, and they allocate all of their attention to a small number of men that results in just essentially at the end of the day.
Let me stop right there, man. Because they said so much, and I know the video is going on way too long, so it is what it is. Shout out to Scott Galloway. Shout out to I forgot this guy's name, the CNN anchor, the news anchor guy. But so much is being said, and it's so hard to break it all down, fellas. I mean, yes, online. And I said it before. Online dating is horrible. It's the worst. It's the worst. Just like he said, yo, it's now 1 in 4 relationships is now starting out of online dating, when years ago it wasn't like that. People aren't going out no more. People aren't going to the bar to hang out anymore. People aren't working anymore. Everybody's working from home. Everybody's doing this, that, and the third. And I honestly want to add to what he was saying about the online options. It's the paradox of choice. I've done this video. If I remember, I put the eye at the top where I spoke about you having too many options and you can't make a decision. What did he say about the Tinder app? For every 1 woman, there's 4 guys, and guys get swiped right, which is, I think, accepted or matched less than 1%. Less than 1%. So yeah, something seems to be wrong here. Something seems to be wrong. The paradox of choice, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling y'all right now, mixed with online dating and all these crazy ass apps. I personally don't get on these apps, man. I wish y'all the best if that's what y'all want to do and that's what y'all choose. You know what I'm saying? It's not for me. I can't deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. It's nonsense to me, in my honest opinion, man. But I wanted to say this, right? First of all, great video, great topic, and I wish I can cover more, but there's like at least another 4.5 minutes of this, so I can't even let it run out anymore, man, because I know I'll be surprised if anyone even made it this far in the video. I'll be surprised. But yeah, young men. Is it over for the young men in America? I wouldn't say it's over. Is it a crisis? Yes, I would say it's a crisis. Mainly because so many guys, they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to express their feelings or express their emotions and stuff like that. They don't know how to do that. I mean, to a degree, I don't know how to. I don't know how to. But a lot of that stuff comes with practice, experience, determination, all those things. But a lot of guys don't even have that. They lack that. So what do you expect them to do? Maybe y'all think differently, man. I want y'all to comment down below and let me know what you thought about this video, man. Great video. Great video. I wish I could cover the whole thing, y'all. I'm sorry, but I already know people didn't even make it this far in the video. So thanks for watching. And until next time, please, man, y'all be safe for her,